Get you covered in postseason play like nobody else right here on Mark Rogers TV. Check out the other YouTube channels. I guarantee you nobody is covering bowl games and recruiting like we do right here. Not just myself, but the best bloggers and broadcasters we can track down in college football. Check out the videos and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've had fun looking at the bowl history of every team participating in postseason play this season. So I'm running through all the bowl games and just running down a memory lane in terms of the recent games and, of course, the all-time records and results and standout moments for these teams and their storied histories or not-so-storied histories in the example of many. All right, on Wednesday night, December 20th, we have the DXL Frisco Bowl. It's Louisiana Tech taking on SMU. The Bulldogs come in at 6-6. 4-4 in Conference USA. The Mustangs in the American Conference at 7-5, 4-4 in conference play. You can catch this one on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Again, that's Wednesday night the 20th from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, hence the name Frisco Bowl. Both of these teams being group of fives, SMU not always in that category, and we'll dive into that in just a second, have pretty sizable bowl histories compared to some of the other group of fives that we've outlined. Louisiana Tech is 5-3-1 in bowl games. And if you're a younger fan, as soon as I say 5-3-1, you're like 5-3 and what? Well, they used to play to ties in college football. I believe 1997 was the season in which ties were outlawed and we went to overtime. But before that, no overtime. It wasn't even like the NFL where there could be in overtime. If you went to overtime and tied after one period of play, that it would go into the record books as a tie. But here was just regulation, no overtime. So 5-3-1 for Louisiana Tech. Their first win in postseason play was pretty impressive. They defeated Louisville 24-14 in the 1977 Independence Bowl. The Bulldogs have played actually in 4 Independence Bowls, which makes sense because they're close by. And certainly this is still the case, but even going back into the 70s and 80s, many times teams would stay close. They wanted to attract the local crowd and save on costs. So Louisiana Tech in 4 games in Shreveport at the Independence Bowl. Louisiana Tech, to its credit, the Bulldogs are 2-1 against current Power 5 programs. They have that game against Louisville, the win in the 77 Independence. They came back in 1990 in the Independence Bowl, and they tied Maryland. There's the tie, 34-all. In 2001, in the Humanitarian Bowl, they played Clemson. Imagine Clemson now playing Louisiana Tech in a bowl game. Tigers won that 49-24. Poinsettia Bowl in 2011. We're getting more current. TCU and Louisiana Tech. The Bulldogs beat TCU 31-24. And 3 seasons ago in the Heart of Dallas Bowl. I think they play that in Dallas. Illinois and Louisiana Tech. And the Bulldogs won that game 35-18. Remember that one well. Last year, really good game. They defeated Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl, 48-45 shootout. Now looking at SMU, who's been playing football since way back in 1915. The Mustangs are 7-7, and there you go, 7-7 and 1 tie in bowl games. Their first trip to postseason play, the Dixie Classic against West Virginia Wesleyan. They lost. No, they won that game. No, they lost that game. Sorry. SMU lost 9-7. In the 1936 Rose Bowl, that was their second bowl game, and they made it to the Rose Bowl. They lost to Stanford 7-0. And then some games of note here. I remember these from my childhood. The Holiday Bowl of 1980. What a back and forth between Craig James, Eric Dickerson, the Pony Express, and Jim McMahon and BYU. McMahon threw a Hail Mary late in the game, right at the end of the game. Obviously a Hail Mary right at the end of the game. BYU wins it 46-45 in the Holiday Bowl. That was in 1980. In 1983, SMU defeated Pitt and a quarterback by the name of Dan Marino, and really shut him down at 7-3. That was a Pitt team that was ranked #1 preseason, came in at 9-2. SMU finished with no losses that season in 1982. That was the January 1st, 1983 Cotton Bowl. All right, it's been 5 seasons since the Mustangs played in postseason play. That was the 2012 Hawaii Bowl against Fresno State. They won that game 43-10 over the Bulldogs. In the series, Louisiana Tech leads over SMU 3-1. And they played 3 consecutive years here in 2002, 3, and 4. SMU winning the first game. La Tech comes back to win 03 and 04. One of those games, 41-6. It's the Frisco Bowl with Louisiana Tech 6-6, taking on SMU at 7-5. And our history lesson continues right here on Mark Rogers TV.